Hi folks, welcome to Hacks, Skills, and Mods. Another installment in the series of 1911 modifications and refinements videos. One more thing I do to the slide is, I hope you can see this, on the face of the breech right here, the firing pin hole. A lot of times these firing pin holes have a sharp edge. Now, something else I do is I polish with the stone that I've been showing you from Brownells. I polish the face and take all the machining marks off of it. Okay. Then there's a sharp edge around the edge of the firing pin hole, and I usually take a small fine stone for a Dremel tool and use it in my fingers and just take that, just stick it in there and twirl it in my fingers and take that edge out. What'll happen is as a round comes up, it comes up at somewhat of an angle and it will catch in that, and it can cause you a stoppage, but sometimes what it'll do is it'll shave just a little piece of brass off of the back of that case, and after it does that a few times it can get some brass hung in the firing pin. So if we take that edge off, we don't have that problem. That is it for the slide, so I'm going to set it aside. I believe that's everything there. And the frame, we use the roll trick for the 600 grit sandpaper, and we polish the inside of the mag catch the same way we do everything else. We let it loose and then we turn it the opposite, twist it the opposite direction that we rolled it, and it forces it out tight against the hole and polishes the inside of the hole. You can do the same thing to the plunger tube, but man, it takes a tiny little piece, little sliver of sandpaper to get inside that plunger tube. But you can do the same thing there. Okay. Now, trigger jobs, we've polished, already discussed polishing the outside of the trigger, hammer and sear, the trigger and stirrup, and we've discussed polishing the disconnect. We also want to polish the flat spring or three-fingered spring. Excuse me. We want to polish this area on the middle spring right here, and we want to polish, no, that one's for the grip safety. Yeah, that one's for the grip safety. This one's for the sear. We want to polish this area right here for the sear. That's the one that works the sear. And that is done. And 600 grit is fine for that, and just kind of round that one and just polish this one a little bit, and you're good there. Now, let's see. I believe that is all for the trigger job, so I'm going to lay these pieces out of the way so I don't get confused. I'm easily confused sometimes. Oh, the outside of the sear pin and the hammer pin. And what I like to do is take 600 grit and just fold it around that like so, and twist it and work it in and out. Okay, I'm not doing any of this stuff to my pistol because I've already done it and I've got it where I want it. But I like to put that around there and just twist it and work it in and out, and then switch ends. Now there is a little bit of a lip on one end to keep the pin from going on through the hole. You don't want to take that off, so you want to be careful about that. And the hammer pin, same way. It's got the same little lip, and you want to stick it in the sandpaper and twist it and work it in and out. Do the same thing. You want everything that moves when you pull that trigger, you want it polished to a mirror finish. And if you don't tweak any springs or change any parts, you can use all your factory parts and do what I'm telling you, and you can take a 5.5 to 6 pound trigger that may have some creep or crunch in it down to about 3.5 or 4 pound trigger that is smooth and crisp and breaks like a glass rod, just by polishing, not filing anything off, not changing any parts, nothing, just polishing. And that's one of the beauties of the 1911 is the amazing trigger design. So let's see. After that, we'll go to the extractor. I like to polish a little bit off of this area right here, just a little bit. This hook area right here, inside, if it's nice and polished, that's great. You got to be careful, because if you make a groove, and I made this mistake once, if you polish a groove right behind this hook, you're gonna cause yourself problems when you're shooting the gun. The end, I want it angled. This is an exaggeration. I want it angled this way, just ever so slightly. I don't know if you can see that, but there's just the slightest little angle from here back that is sitting this way. And then there's usually an edge right here. I take that edge off, and then I round this and polish it with 600 grit sandpaper, and I use it on my thumb to get that smooth rounded end on there. And what happens is, sometimes when a 1911 chamber, sometimes they will recoil, and the round will come forward out of the magazine and start in the chamber, and then the slide comes up behind it, and your extractor hits the rear of the brass like this. Well, you want that angle and you want that polish so that it'll snap around and go on home. Okay? If it's flat on the end, it'll stop. It'll cause you to stop it. So you want that slightly angled and polished and rounded. And that is it for the extractor. And this video has reached my time limit and plus a little bit. So thank you very much to our veterans and our emergency service personnel. Please like, share, and subscribe. Give me a thumbs up if you like what I'm saying. Give me a comment if you got something you think you need to say, and we'll discuss it. Thanks, and have a wonderful day.